There is still a lot to do in this episode. We are going to watch a video clip of Stuart Alder singing live with Robin Hood. We're going to do it. Do you think now is a good time? Do you think it's just a chance that Robin Hood is getting ready for something? Let's talk about it. Does Microsoft own Ethereum, the digital currency used by the Australian Reserve Bank? I'll take care of the blockchains. Things are not going well with Bitcoin Coinbase. There are rumors going around about the paper. The XRP price chart soon showed up. There are several choices you can make, and I will go over each one in more depth, so please bear with me. Keep calm, sit down, and get a cold. Let's get a drink and start with Bitcoin. In 5991623 hours, 233 Ethereum hours have passed. Dollars and tails are both down 33% right now. Both USDT and USDC ended the day at their respective dollar levels. XRP, on the other hand, has gained an average of 57 cents. Where will we go now that the market value of all cryptocurrencies is $1,077 billion, or 2.16%? We're on our way, people, and from now on, the options are endless. The Australian Reserve Bank Australia says that the central bank's digital currency for wholesale transactions will be given more weight than private transactions. New Zealand, the Australian Central Bank, said it would be focusing on selling CBDC currency. When compared to a retail form issued by a central bank, digital currency has fewer problems and more possible benefits. The Reserve Bank of Australia said that they will focus on making a wholesale central bank digital currency before they make a retail form. Central banks give digital tokens to banks and other financial institutions so they can use them in everyday activities. This is known as wholesale digital currency, CBDC. All G20 countries and many other countries are interested in central banks' digital currencies. The DRBA, on the other hand, has promised to focus its work on wholesale digital money and infrastructure, such as wholesale CBDCs. More and more central banks are pushing their digital currencies as the digital currencies of the future. Could Ethereum become the next Microsoft, or even the Microsoft of the blockchain? The study says that underperformance might get better by the end of the year. Developers and users who work on and use Ethereum are the busiest, and the blockchain is worth 5 times as much as its closest competitor. It owns more than 60% of all DeFi assets. Microsoft's blockchains are a lot like Ethereum's. The asset manager said some interesting things, and we just saw Valen's little song. Could we do that? Token 2049 will be called his childhood rhyme. I guess you don't care when you have all that money, though. I did say that Ethereum would stop being a top coin, and I still stand by that. This person doesn't seem to care about anything in the world. This is what I think will happen in 2025. It will take time to see if it's true. Even though it's just a guess, I think Ethereum will be easily gotten around. Then we found out that Stuart Alder, Robin Hood, and Goal were all at the GoFin policy, and that XRP and Bitcoin Solana are competing for positions 2 and 3, while BNB and Tether are competing for positions 4 and 5. Ethereum was left out of the fray. That's really interesting. Now, as I said at the beginning, watching this movie has been very good for the Post-Zero Center. Along with Stu, we have another warning. There are 2 Sandras in the family. Sandra has both a bachelor and master's degree from Georgetown University. At the World Economic Forum, she is in charge of blockchain and digital assets work. It's great to have you. Sandy. Okay, Dan Gallagher. Let's begin with Dave Lavelle. Dave is one more. After that is Dan Gallagher, who has been a big fan of the Post-Zero Center for over 20 years. If you are Dan, we first worked together in New York when you were an SEC commissioner. We talked about proxy votes and the power of shareholder rights. You talked there. Alam is an amazing guy who helps us in lots of ways. From traditional finance to managing ETFs on a grayscale platform, she has done a lot in her work, and the panel are going to be given to you. Thank you so much for starting the party. It's clear that our group will be talking about cryptocurrency and the stock market, but before we go any further, Stuart and I had a chat earlier, during which you admitted that you knew you couldn't build a strong system for the cryptocurrency market without first getting permission from regulators. From the people I've talked to in the field, it seems that most of them think the November election is very important. The November election is very important for the Bitcoin industry because one candidate has promised to represent many people in the field who think it has hurt the industry as a whole. I think my question is about November. There are some things that worry me about the race. Asking specifically about the top line on the ticket, how important is this cycle's presidential race for the longevity of the industry? How long will the industry last? That being said, I want to say thank you. I know that Ripple has always put compliance first. We have dealt with lawmakers and officials every year for the past 12 years that we have been in business. This election season, while we've met with both the Trump and Harris campaigns, the RNC has definitely been heard loud and clear. Our support for both Republicans and Democrats was also shown at the RNC and DNC meetings. Check out their convention's 16-page, one-paragraph plan statement. Make it clear that the U.S. will end its war on cryptocurrencies and become the center of cryptocurrencies around the world. People aren't yet very familiar with Harris's campaign, but they have said in secret that they want to change the policy, so I think this is a good choice. First and foremost, the country's leaders need to get rid of the incentives for managers who aren't elected. There is no doubt that cryptocurrency is here to stay, and it has proven itself to be a reliable political force. We want to be heard. Dan, who is a member of the SEC, was inside the SEC, so who is in charge of these regulatory bodies that make rules by enforcing them? It doesn't matter if it's a Republican administration, a Democratic administration, or a mix of the two. Hey, grad, how are you? I thought the election wasn't too bad when I was there in November, but now that I'm there, it's a beast. For starters, I think Steve is right. I think this is a two-option question. No need to tell you that crypto will win if, say, Harris wins. Trump will win. Look over your case, take care, and know that Moscow also has a reset button, no matter what they say. It didn't work very well, but I think it will get there in some way. I do see a way to get laws passed. When you think about the law, you should notice that the CEO of Robinhood is there, a famous person in the Bitcoin business. He's up there with Stu and talking about how likely it is that Trump will win. I'm sure it's not an accident that they shook hands and talked behind closed doors. Put Robinhood back on the market at XRP, well, things are about to get exciting. Crip is going to put out 5 colors. Scenarios, pick the color you want. He said that some older pumps are not working right. Don't forget that the bottom of this cycle is 28 cents. Let me try to make this as exciting as possible for everyone watching. We might have a $3 XRP, at least he's moving forward, and our goal is to hit an all-time high of $485, which is a little higher than the previous high of $283. Move to red zone 622 if we find it. How should I stand on this? Well, since the color blue would make it $7 and the parabola blow off top would cost about $27. For you guys, this is the worst possible end of the world, assuming there isn't a bull run or something crazy. At the moment, these markets are worth about $2 trillion. We don't want to be there, but if we do, and we break that 75-cent range I've been talking about, that would be the worst thing that could happen. We are looking at his yellow and blue boxes. These goals are perfect, 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 perfect. I think that by 2020, we will have reached a high point of between $1.50 and $2. I think we're getting close to that level. Based on our conservative estimates, all of us could possibly reach double-digit levels, which would cause XRP to reach its highest point. We think that when rates go down, money needs to move out of established markets and into cryptocurrencies. This is definitely possible and should be thought about. People, it's still very early in the game. Let's wait and see how Q4 goes before we look at it again.